I believe God will send you people.
Yeah.
You just have to be open. It's like you just have to have the humility to accept that you're still like a sponge. There's still so many things to learn, and every opportunity that comes your way, you have to learn from it. Sometimes you fail, but you fail forward. It's not failing backwards. It's like the end of the world. It's like you learn from every opportunity. Failures should make you stronger, and success or triumph should make you more humble.
Welcome everybody to this edition of Uplift, and I am so happy to have with us. I'm actually at his office right now, the district head of AXA, Mr. Alberto Bercasio.
Hi, morning.
Morning. Nice
Thank you
to
for
have
having me in your show or podcast, right?
Yes, absolutely. You know, we're reaching out to hundreds of people, and I'm happy to have him here because one of the things I really love about the industry is what it's committed to, and it's committed to about helping as many people out there as possible achieve some level of financial wealth, health wealth, and in insurance, especially in the tough days that might befall anybody.
Yeah.
Correct?
Right.
Right. So, Alberto, was very nice to be on the show today, and what I really like is about his struggle and his story in order for him to be one of the top heads here in the Bicol region. You know, so here to share his story is Alberto. Actually, he's lovably known as Abet,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Here in the Philippines, they just love these nicknames.
Nicknames, right?
So tell us, Abet, what was it that helped you succeed in becoming one of the top heads in the Bicol region?
Well, I started quite young in the business. I'm a nurse by profession, but I I knew I wanted to be in business, so I did not pursue my nursing profession. You see, I think we have to go back to my childhood. Like um, I lost my father when I was 6 years old, and we were five siblings. So it was my mother who raised us. She's a school teacher at the time. Well, she still teaches now. We were so blessed to have her as our mother because she raised us, had us graduate in private schools. It was really challenging for her. But my late father was a very good businessman. But I saw everything um, vanish before my eyes. The lifestyle, the businesses, because my mother did not know how to manage those businesses. So at a very young age, he died at the age of 31.
Wow, that is young. How
Yeah.
old were you back then?
I was 6 years old. Um, he had majority share in a rural bank. He had a fleet of barges that um, we get white clay from Siruma to Naga. Then
Wow.
we had a resto bar.
This
We
is
had a
not
good
small
life.
business, not
No,
like this ukay
oh
store.
no,
or
no,
sari
it was
store.
really big business. So lifestyle was kind of comfortable at the time,
Yeah.
but we saw everything vanish before our eyes when he died. When I joined my first insurance company, that's where I realized how a life insurance policy could have changed our lives. How my mother would not have sacrificed that much because I would wake up late in the evening and see my mother still doing paperwork. That really broke my heart. And early on, I said, I I have to be better for her and for my family in the future. So that's how I think everything started. But I started as a financial advisor. Then I became a unit head. Then I went into training. So I tried being employed for a year and a half in training. Then I went back to sales. But when I started, it was just like any other job. You know, during my time, life insurance is like a lame excuse for a job. It's like if you can find a job, then you
So
go
you
into
still
insurance.
learned life
Yeah,
insurance.
until such time that you somebody hires you, so
Yeah.
you get now a more respectable job. But I saw it as a business rather than a job. So that's how I lasted in the business, because I think you have to see it from a different perspective. It's not an 8 to 5 thing. It's not a career. It's really a business. So that's how I think I built everything from being just an agent, and now I have operations in Lucena, Daet, Legazpi, Naga, and now building Sorsogon.
Wow. So almost you're covering all of Bicol.
Yeah, yeah. So it's what I like about the business is that it's for everybody.
Yeah.
We don't the business doesn't care what your educational background is. Doesn't care what your um, economic status is. So it's all about you. So you don't compete with anybody else but yourself. And growing up, I was really preparing myself because I really knew what I wanted at the time, and I kind of believed at a young age that I think I've got what it takes to succeed. I think that is very important. So um, I remember when I was in high school, every summer I would do summer jobs. I have tried selling goods in cockpit arena. I would be conductor in a jeepney. I tried construction. I did labor job for construction. All these things. I used to sell stuff during summer. So I pretty made use of my free time at the time. But then everything changed when, of course, when I was in college, I had to try making money. So I went into sales. I was doing selling personal care products when I was in college, and I was
Was
with the
that was
band.
that a multi-level company you were
No,
doing?
it's direct sales.
Okay, direct
I'm
sales.
not really good with multi-level, but it's more on the direct sales.
Okay.
So I was like selling panties and bras to my teachers in college, makeups. So I was
That's
kidding. I would know who's cup A or cup B. So those stuff, but it didn't deter me, even if I'm male, that I would be selling those stuff.
feminine
Yeah,
products.
yeah. I found it handy because I just have a brochure, and would be just giving them the brochure, and they would choose which ones, and then I have a sale.
I just
That's
think
it.
it's kind of interesting how, as a young man,
Yeah.
right, you're approaching some of these teachers and you're selling them panties and bras and, I get here it's called mahiya, right? There
Yeah.
was no mahiya for you,
Oh
right?
no, no, no. It's like
And for them,
yeah, it's a normal
yeah,
transaction.
yeah,
It's a normal sales. It's like they need it, then
yeah.
it's there. You just tell me, just deliver it in the afternoon. So that's how it went. Then I was with a band, so
Uh-huh.
every weekend we would perform in a bar. So probably my mom would be was wondering at the time. I only get like 10 pesos for baon, but I can sometimes I go home drunk. I enjoyed my young days. So
Right.
I go to bars and all those stuff.
And
But
she's wondering where you're getting all this
oh
extra
yes,
money,
yes,
right?
yes.
What did you tell her? Oh, mom, I sold a panty today.
Well, she knows because she's where I went to school to college. She's
Uh,
a professor there,
okay.
so she knows what I'm
So she knows what you were
doing.
doing.
Yeah, but there were a lot of opportunities that came that really changed me. Um, there was this opportunity for like an essay writing contest. It was a regional contest. I was writing, but I didn't know I had what it takes because I've never compared my works with anybody. But it was summer and there was nobody in school. So one of our teachers said, "Hey, you might want to try this. It's a contest." Why me? there's somebody else. Okay, so I can represent the school. So those who are um, academically
Inclined.
inclined
Yeah.
students who are not in school. So okay, I'll give it a try, and I won. So I said, then I realized. So I think what I'm doing with writing is okay compared with others. Then I joined the debate team. Then we won, and I became the best debater. So that's when I found out that I can do this. I can do this. So I started honing more the skills. So it's more like whatever interests me, I would really devour books, materials to really help me develop that. Because at the time we don't have Google, we don't have the internet. So you have to go to the library, you have to look for other materials. Then I became a student leader, probably because I was with a band. So it's like I was more popular in school, but I didn't have the academic credentials that would convince people that I could be a good leader. Because normally they would choose someone who's a Dins lister. I was just
Yeah.
popular with the band. So,
What did you
but
play? What instrument?
I was the vocalist.
Oh, okay. So you are
So
also a singer. So you're a
yeah,
singer, you're a writer, you're playing a band.
yeah, and I still
And
do that until
yeah,
now. These talents, because I believe if you have the talent, it's your responsibility number one to develop it. So I can sing better now compared when I was with a band in high school and college.
so do you do a lot of karaoke?
Yes, karaoke. I still jam with because
Mhm.
I still have a band, so I still
Okay.
jam in some resto bars here in Naga from time
Oh,
to
you gotta
time.
let me
So,
know when you're playing.
oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
sure,
there for sure.
sure. So that's for my pastime because I believe that if you are given a talent, you have to pursue to develop the talent.
It's your responsibility.
Yes, and share it.
Yeah.
You don't keep it for yourself. It's
Yeah.
like one of the legacies that you can have on the world. At least you share your talent. So that's so everything. I think it's all about me preparing myself.
Yeah.
When I graduated from college, I said I wanted to go into business. So my girlfriend at the time, she's now my wife, we went into some businesses, but they did not turn out well. So at the age of 27, I was looking at all my other engagements. I was doing multi-level, I was doing pre-need, I was doing insurance, I was doing everything else. It's like, I call them racket. So it's like, I thought that if I have all this racket, then I
Yeah.
would have an opportunity to earn more.
Yeah.
But after 2 years, it turned out I was wrong. So I had to choose which one would be best for me, and which one would give a better opportunity for the future. So I looked at this business, the insurance business. So that's when I decided I have to focus on this.
And that's 27, 28.
Yeah, I was 25 years old when I focused on this business.
Insurance.
And this business became very generous to me and my family. At the age of 27, we had our own house already. Everything came from sales. I had to do more. I had to talk to more people. There were many rejections, but once you learn how to eat rejections for lunch, then that's the time that you are going to soar in this business. Because it's like for a newbie, for every 5 person you talk to, only one would say yes. So it was really tough.
Yeah.
It was tough physically and it was tough emotionally. But I've always looked at for every 5 you get one. So I was focusing on the one, not on the 5. So I would just say, some will, some won't. So what? So next. Then just doing one presentation after the other. Then eventually you got to grow, and then you became a unit head, and then again you become a branch head. That's how everything worked out for me practically.
You know, there's a lot of people out there who are insurance agents,
Yeah,
right? Not only with AXA, but with Pru Life, and then there's
yeah,
Manual Life, and there's so many competitors
yes.
out there. All of them are vying for the same client,
Mhm.
right? And I know it's really frustrating for a lot of the agents
Yeah.
Right. And you are an agent as well. But what is it that out of what do you think is really special about you that made you excel, whereas there's so many other people who are just still agents?
Well, I think it's more on you because
Mm-hmm.
at first the client will be looking at you,
Mm-hmm.
secondary, the company, the products. It's more on the value that you can give to the client. That's why I tell my financial advisors, you have to invest in yourself to develop yourself. Because normally a client would choose someone who is more professional, who is more knowledgeable of what he's doing. We are called financial advisors, so we must be able to give a good advice to our clients. So I tell them um, it's not really uh, the clients would be looking at not how much you know, but they would be looking at how much you care. So it's like when you approach them,
Mm-hmm.
is it because you need the sale more, or me as a client
Mm-hmm.
really needs the program that you are offering me? So
Mm-hmm.
it's more like that. So developing yourself to become better, I think you owe that to your clients. It's normal that clients would have multiple financial advisors serving them. That's all right. But every client engagement, you should be able to give an awesome customer experience because that is
Mm.
going to redefine you. That's going to put you above the rest. If you can give the best quality service. I have encountered a lot of clients. They are friends. They're close to me, but they would decline my offer.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they are quite satisfied with their current financial advisor, and that's okay.
And then how do you go out there and present yourself to new clients?
Well, for new clients, at this point, I'm more on getting recommendations from my existing clients.
Okay.
Because at a certain stage where um, you'll get into a stage in your career or your business where if you're able to do well in what you're doing, then you get recommendations. So that's why if the first hurdle is you get to 100 clients as a financial advisor, that should be the first hurdle. After 100 clients and majority of them would love your service, then you can get recommendations. Imagine, say 80% of them would be giving you at least one recommendation every year.
Yeah.
So that's and more recommendations would translate to more clients. So you're just building a
You're
portfolio.
building a
Yeah.
portfolio. Earlier, you said that it's important for your financial advisors who work under you, and I think it's the same advice you could share to just about anybody is to consistently build yourself,
Oh yes,
right?
definitely. Yes.
Um, Now, that's a nice blanket statement,
Mm.
right? You got to build yourself, and people kind of understand that,
Yeah.
but then they're kind of lost as to exactly what does that mean? What does that
Yeah.
entail? What do I need to work on,
Okay.
right? Where do I get that kind of education? Is it
Mm.
something that I have to read? Is it on YouTube? Is it on
Yeah.
social media? What do you recommend?
Well, up to now, I'm still developing myself. I never stop learning. Sometimes the when a person gets to a certain stage,
Yeah.
they would feel comfortable already and say, "It's like that's not for me anymore. I'm getting old."
Yeah.
But um, learning doesn't stop because the
Yeah.
world is ever changing. If you
Yeah.
want to be at the top of the game, you still have to improve. Like the difference between an NBA player
Mm-hmm.
and a business person is that the playing field
Mm-hmm.
doesn't end. I mean, the game doesn't stop. Well, an NBA player would have age that would retire him.
Yeah.
But if you're in the business, you're using your brain, so you have to develop your brain. So I devour on books. I watch YouTube. I do podcasts. Um, like I listen to podcasts. I even blogs. Anything that interests me.
Mm-hmm.
When I was starting, it's like while my peers, my friends, they were playing. I was already attending Rotary meetings. I was attending Chamber of Commerce meetings. I was the youngest member of my Rotary Club at the age of 25. Um, then, while they were partying in bars, I was having fellowship with their parents, with their father. So I have a lot of friends, but I'm more close
With the
with their
parents.
parents. And when we have parties, it's like sometimes it's kind of odd because I call their parents on first name because we were really close. We were friends. But then you get to realize I'm so much younger than them because here in the Philippines you have to
Yeah.
say po and
Yeah.
opo. But when I joined Rotary, my mentor at the time said, "You treat us as equal. You don't say po. Here in Rotary, we are equals. We are friends. We are brothers." So that kind of changed my mindset.
Perception.
Yeah. So so that was how I developed myself. I placed myself in a market where I want to grow. Then I did adulting early. So
You're quick.
yeah, it's like I had to sacrifice. I know I had to sacrifice some of the good stuff that young adults would be enjoying in exchange of something that I want in the future for myself and for my future family. So that's like now I'm doing language. I'm studying Spanish. Studying Spanish, I'm using. I'm self-taught, so I use podcasts. I use Siri. Siri is very helpful. Even when I'm driving, I would ask Siri, "Hey Siri, what's the Spanish for this?"
Yeah.
It would answer immediately with the correct pronunciation. Sorry.
It's
See,
okay.
that's how efficient Siri is, and
Yeah, she's actually answering right now,
yeah,
right?
yes.
How about this? Siri, what is the Spanish word for podcasts?
That would be voice
Probably
activated.
not.
So, hey Siri, what's the Spanish for podcast?
In Spanish, podcast is podcast.
Podcast. How about that?
Then I'm also doing an app. It's
Yeah.
Duolingo, so I'm using
Oh,
Duolingo.
Duolingo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm still trying to find an app that would teach me Tagalog.
um well
Yeah, there isn't because Tagalog is not as
yes,
popular as
yes,
Spanish or
yes,
French.
right. I think for you it's not
Yeah.
gonna be difficult.
It's just immersion. That's how I'm doing it.
Yes, yes.
Right. So, back to self-development,
Yeah.
which is really all this is.
Yeah.
Right. You're always personally developing. Even at now, you said that you're learning a new language, right? A lot of people actually stop their learning
Yeah.
as soon as they quit school. Once they're done with college or high school, they stop learning, right?
Right.
But you say that learning is it's the reason why you are who you are,
Yes.
okay? Because you never stop learning.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they say once a tree stops growing, it starts to die,
Yes.
right? And you never stop learning.
Yes.
What are some of the books or titles do you recommend for people to read?
Well, for sales, Ogmandino is like a bible for me for sales.
Yeah.
The greatest salesman, the prayer for greatest salesman, I still pray it because there you get to learn. Well, part of the prayer says, "I ask not for gold or garments or even opportunities equal to my ability, but guide me so that I could acquire abilities equal to my opportunities." So it's like the opportunities are always there. Uh, they're always there, either big or small, but opportunities are always there. But some people would not be able to seize the opportunity because they're looking for the opportunity. You have to do it the other way around. You have to develop yourself, grow yourself bigger, so that when a big opportunity comes, you'll be able to take advantage of it or grab those opportunities.
Yeah.
So that's one. For my um, for my time management and effectiveness with people, it's the Seven Habits. So it's another Bible for corporate.
Yeah.
The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So that's one that I'm still using now. I love like Ayn Rand's books. I've always been fascinated by the way she thinks. Most people that I know would not agree with some of her principles,
Yeah.
but some of it really just makes sense.
Yes,
It's
I've
like
never met a Filipino who have read Ayn Rand.
I go through it over and over, like the
Yeah.
Fountainhead and then the Atlas Shrugged. So
Yeah.
it's like when I even asked my son to read that. So it's like just to give them a different perspective of the
Sure.
world. Um, for leadership, you have John Maxwell, you have all those. I do biographies also, like Barack Obama. Last one was Lee Kuan Yew. So all these things, trying to learn from them. So it's because my interest is quite diverse.
You
So
must have had you must have an amazing library.
well, I still have, but some of them they're borrowed, but they don't.
And then come back.
Yes, but it's okay. It's okay.
Right now, all my library is more online.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I download PDF books.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I do also.
Yeah.
So, like the Seven Habits. I think I bought 7 copies of it in, like, say, from the year 2000 up to now, because they always don't come back. So
And that's quite okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. It's okay.
One of my favorite books is How to Win Friends and Influence Others.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's still one of my favorite books of all times. I think I've read that about 2 or 3 times.
yeah. I like the part on influence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think everybody needs to learn a little bit on how to influence and persuade others.
Yes,
Right.
yes. The doing it the right way.
Doing it the right way, of
Yeah.
course. As long as your heart is in the right place,
Yes.
your mind is in the right place, and you're doing it out of love.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Tell us, what is some of the biggest struggles that you've had?
Well, I think, number one, growing up,
Yeah.
that was really a struggle. So I really wanted to change um, us, my family, my siblings, my mom, and I wanted to, for us to be able to give her a better life.
Yeah.
Although that's not difficult because my mom's really very simple. So at least us, the siblings, are doing our share, like taking her to places. Sometimes we travel with the apos, with the grandchildren. So very simple luxuries in life. Um, when I had the family already, I wanted, when I married this wonderful woman, I said I want to give her the best. I mean, it's not standard that I think would befit um, how the kind of family that I want to raise. So that's where I really struggled building up a business for us. Then when I first joined my first insurance company, it was not yet AXA. Then we were bought. That company was bought by another insurance company in the U.S. So we had to go through a merger and acquisition here in the Philippines. I didn't like the culture of the new company, so I transferred to John Hancock. But after a year and a half, John Hancock was bought again by a local company. So again, I did not like the culture because So it's very um, it's very traditional, very
Mm-hmm.
old. So I was young at the time. I was looking for management that is more vibrant, is more into technology,
Mm-hmm.
more forward looking, where I can really grow. So that's when I transferred to AXA.
Yeah,
I
so.
transferred to AXA in the year 2005, but it was a struggle. They got me as a branch head, but as a branch head, um, I've lost a lot of my people.
Mm. So you
So
have to almost rebuild.
yes, then after 3 years, I was demoted to unit head, and income was we were really suffering. It's like
Yeah.
we were running into debts. We sold our car. We were my eldest was already in elementary at the time, so we would for more than a year we would take the jeepney from Naga to Pamplona, and my wife was teaching
Mm-hmm.
in the College of Nursing. So at times we get home like 9 p.m. I see them sleeping on in the jeepney. Can imagine. And my heart was bleeding. It's like this is not the life that
One for your
I
family.
want for them. So I had to rebuild. I had to work harder, work longer, look for more people, make this business more attractive. And then after we have invited them, we have recruited them, we have trained them. So I'm blessed to have that core group already.
Mm-hmm.
So that's practically what we had to go through. It was difficult, but there's no other way.
So when your dad passed away at a young age, I'm sure it was difficult for your family, especially for your mom back then,
Yeah.
right? And so there were many years of struggle for you,
Oh yes,
right?
definitely.
But you have grown up in the shadow of your father,
Yeah.
and you actually have become your father.
Well,
That's
sort of.
sort
Yes.
of. He was more as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
right? But as an entrepreneur, one of your biggest jobs and responsibilities is sales, because
Yes.
you're always having to
Yes.
sell yourself.
Right.
And that's very similar here, except you're with a very established, very mature, very progressive company like AXA,
Yes.
right? So in many ways, that's why I'm saying it's like the success of your father has definitely flows in your veins.
Oh yes, and I've always looked up because a lot of them are just stories.
Yeah,
Because I was 6 years old when he passed away.
yeah,
So those stories about him, I would treasure them. I would put them in my heart,
yeah.
and that's I think one of the inspirations that I have. That I want to be like him. It's like
Mm,
what they missed about him that I can continue. I can
mm.
do.
What's one of your most cherished stories about him?
Well, he's a mechanical engineer. My uncle told me because they have this like big boats. We call them lancha. So they're really big boats. So there was this time when it submerged with all
Oh wow.
the white clay in it. Was able to bring it up just
Yeah.
using so many compressors and tires and all those stuff. I did that, and he was like at that time it was like I think 29 or 30 years old. So I was like, it's amazing, and how his friends would say how good he was in business. It was so all those stuff. So I was learning from those stories and say I want to be like him.
So you didn't learn directly from your dad, like a lot of boys had the opportunity
Yeah.
to. You learned from your dad from the many stories that you heard about him,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think that's amazing because not a lot of people often learn from their parents.
Mm.
Okay, but there's a wealth of knowledge that people could acquire by learning stories about their parents, whether it's indirectly or directly,
Yeah.
you know. And from age 6 and on, you were able to become like your dad because
Mm.
of the stories that they shared.
Yeah, but there are also other inspirations along the way.
Such as,
Well, like for politics and public service, my mentor was Jesse Robredo. I was a scholar when I was in college because we had it was like an unspoken rule when we went into college that each of my siblings we have to look for scholarships. It's
yeah.
like because we knew that it would be very difficult for our mom, so we had to look for scholarships. And I went to Mayor Robredo at the time. So he said the scholarship in the city is full, but he took me in as a personal scholar
Oh,
because
wow.
in the school where I used to go to, he was teaching every Sunday. So I used the salary that he got from teaching for my tuition fee for
By
some
the
time.
by the way, it was a great loss for Naga and also for the Philippines when
Oh
he
yeah,
passed.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
But after, you know, even if I was his personal scholar in college, never did he approach me and ask me to help him in any of the campaigns. So practically, it was like it was just pure help with no
Yeah.
strings attached.
Yeah.
And the only time that he asked for my help in politics was not for him, but for Marojas. So that's how
Wow.
I got into um, the liberal party. I got into politics. I've been um, people get me as consultant as to help them, but it's more on from him. So Mayor Robredo would not tell you the things that you need to learn. He would put you in situations where you can
Oh yeah.
observe
Yeah.
him, just watch me, just listen to me, and pick up what you want to learn from me. So it
That's
was
great.
like
That's great.
I had this. I've always wanted to write this book. Before he passed away, I think for a year, every Sunday, almost every Sunday, we would have a time for just to catch up. It's like things that happened last week. What will we do the following week? So I was calling it Weekends with Jesse. So all the leadership learnings, I want to write them down so that we can pass them on to other people. It's like what I learned from him, especially the leadership brand of leadership that he had.
Wow. Wow. I wish I had an opportunity to meet him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
he's really a great guy.
So, who else were your mentors? People
Well,
you looked
my
up to?
mom, of course. So she's like the um, when it comes to patience, persistence, it's my mom. Kindness, everything else, everything good that you can describe. That's her. My late father-in-law had very good words of wisdom for me as well. It's more on being upright. If you're right, you have to fight for it. You have to voice it out. Things like those. And my mother-in-law as well. So I learned from them. I learned from these people. Also, my late uncle was really very strict, but he was also good in business. Leadership is very good at. He's a tough guy, so I kind of learned a lot from him as well.
You got a lot of people that you looked up to.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah. To
definitely.
help you become and mold you who you are today.
Well, I believe God will send you people.
Yeah.
You just have to be open. It's like you just have to have the humility to accept that um, you're still like a sponge. There's still so many things to learn, and every opportunity that comes your way, you have to learn from it. Sometimes you fail, but you fail forward. It's not failing backwards. It's like the end of the world. It's like you learn from every opportunity. Failures should make you stronger,
Yeah.
and success or triumph should make you more humble because nothing lasts forever.
No.
Everything will just pass.
Wow. Love that. So, where do you see yourself about 5 or 10 years from now?
Well, right now, I've just rewritten new goals for myself and for my business or for my family. Um, I want to grow the biggest agency in the Philippines. So helping more people, developing more financial advisors. It's like legacy. It's like legacy to the world. That's why I call my branch Legacy Builders. So we will be building legacy. Number two, the market is ever growing, and I think right now young people are more open to financial planning as compared with their older counterparts. And now access to different programs like healthcare. These are programs that are now becoming available in the Philippine market. So I think thinking of growth and growing it faster, this would be the best time to do it. And start building however big you want the business to be. So that's what I'm doing. Then we'll start traveling with our kids already. It's like we said we'll do that at least twice in a year, because before the pandemic, we wanted to do that starting in 2020, but pandemic struck. So right now, I think it's time to revisit and work on that. Because we were in Turkey, my wife and I, we had to walk 3 kilometers in Iliraya Valley. We were looking at all those caves where the Christians, when they were ostracized, no, they were
Persecuted?
persecuted.
Yeah.
They had to hide in those caves. So it's like 3 kilometers walk. When we got to the restaurant after that long stretch of the valley, we were so tired, and we both said we have to take our kids in our trips, because a few more years, if we are going to walk this long, we might be saying, you go ahead, we'll just wait for you at the end. So it's like we cannot enjoy the traveling anymore. So we said, okay, we'll start going out with the kids, because they were young, we know they would not yet appreciate all the things that they see. So just as like a burden for them, like going to one airport and then the next, but they would just want to be with their gadgets. So at least now in their age, so they're ready to explore the world and see more what's outside of the Philippines.
Yes. Wow. Well, I am sure that your kids will follow in your footsteps too.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I think it's important that we
Yeah.
become good examples for them.
Yeah.
It's not much on the financial wealth, but it's more on, I think, becoming a better person. So you want them to pursue whatever they want.
Their
It's not really
passion.
us. Yes, us dictating to what they should become, but it's more on we want them to explore
Yeah.
and find out what it is that they would love doing for the rest of their lives.
Finding their passion and purpose
Yes.
in life, because you
Right.
surely have found yours.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you, Abed, for being on this podcast and sharing your many insightful stories with us.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure there's a lot of people who have found that this podcast has been very valuable, especially when you said about never stop learning.
Yeah.
Never stop improving. That's how you were able to reach the position that you're in right now, and without any doubt, you're going to reach your goals that you set forth for yourself.
Thank you. Praying
know?
for that. Yeah.
I and let's real quick before we end. You mentioned several times the power of your faith,
Yeah.
right? How has that been helpful for you?
Um, you know, it's like there's this song which says, they don't know that I come running home when I fall down. They don't know who picks me up when no one is around. But deep inside this armor, the warrior is a child. It's like ever since I've always got strength from my faith, from God. I'm I'm not really good in practicing it. Um, it's like doing the sacraments, going to church. I'm a Catholic, but I'm not really that devout as you would say. And I'm even open to different faiths. I have friends who are atheists. I have friends who are Buddhists,
Yeah.
Muslims. It's I think at the end of it all, nobody. I mean, God doesn't choose what faith you're in, as long as the basic goodness that is in humanity you're practicing. So it's like I may call it convenience because that's how we were raised in a Catholic school from a Catholic family. But I think at the end of the day, it's more on us communicating with Him. You know, when the going gets tough, first thing I would do is pray. So either go to the church and or meditate, just to clear everything out. Number two, I would go back to my mom's house. Just just go there. I mean, because that's where everything started. So it's like how
And she feeds you.
oh that's she does that every day. So I almost every day I would go to her still. But during those times, I was just sit there and then just look back at the journey I have gone through, how I started, all the struggles before. So everything, the new challenges now, just becomes easier when you remember how much more difficult it was back then.
Yeah.
And lastly, my wife and my kids. So that's the inspiration. After you've cleared your mind and your heart, then you know it's going the next phase would be more difficult, so that's when you go back to your
Roots.
wife and your kids, because they would be the bigger why as to how to make things easier in the more difficult days that you have to resolve a problem that you're facing now.
Well, I love that. And I want to thank you for sharing
Thank
all
you.
your stories and your whys and your passions and your purpose in life. And I'm sure a lot of people would have found a lot of great information from that. So thank you again for your inspiration. And thank you again for tuning in to today's podcast. We look forward to having you again. All
Thank
right.
you.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.